What's going on, people? Good to see you guys back. And yes, football is back, and we had the draw against Leeds, and everybody felt very monotone after it. And I didn't really want to drop a video on Monday or Tuesday because I just thought, you guys ain't feeling too great. Me, I'm cool. I'm good. It's a result that I was doubting, to be honest with you. I went for a loss, and we ended up getting a point. And not just that, but 40 minutes with 10 men. A lot of people, including Rio Ferdinand, is like, why is Rob Holding throwing his fist up in the air like they won? Well, that's because they didn't lose. So if you didn't get the memo, Rio Ferdinand, he had to play 40 minutes against a team who is averaging 2 or 3 goals a game at home, and then they were able to get a clean sheet against Leeds. Not many teams have been able to do that this season. That is making a statement. Rob Holding and Gabriel and Bert Leno made a statement. They shut Leeds out. Congratulations. And it's something worth throwing your fist up in the air for. Let's not act like this is something else. Right now, Arsenal need to take the wins where they can get it because they are seldom, few and far between. This is not a good run for Arsenal at the moment, guys. Last 5 games, 3 losses, 1 draw, 1 win. And they're just not generating enough points. When you look at it, it's only 4 points from the last 5 games. However, when you look at the Europa League, they can all but secure their spot in the knockout stages with a win over Molde on Thursday. And yes, they've been put in the league, but they've got a perfect record in Europe. And what this does is, some fans are saying, yeah, a couple of degger teams, pup teams or whatever. Don't let that rub you the wrong way, because some of these teams have been beaten, teams like Spurs, etc. in the Premier League. So you beat who you have in front of you. Not only that, but we have looked good doing it. We've scored 3 or 4 goals, and that's the reason why you see guys like Willock and Nelson, who have started to play, and Nketiah to a point, they've started to play in the first team. So we need more of that. We need more impact from these kids, because the first team players are just not getting the job done. Not only are they not scoring, they are now 8 hours without a goal from open field, and they don't look any closer to scoring. So for Arteta, he has to now look in a different way to see if he can get his team working, and that is going to be to look to the kids. A win in Norway, guys, would set up a 6-point gap over Molde with 2 games to play, and the match is scheduled to be at 5:55 UK time on BT Sports. Obviously, we know that Thomas Partey is not going to play. They saved him this weekend. And look, he could play, but I just don't think it's a game you want to play him in. I think you get him ready for Wolves. That's a smart thing to do. And I think that there's enough bodies in there at the moment, even though we're struggling with a few injuries, that you can just facilitate some bodies in there. And when I mean some bodies in there, I'm talking about Emile Smith-Rowe, Miguel Aziz, Ben Cottrell, and of course, Balogun, Badman Gun, yeah? Those are 4 players now that Mikel Arteta has put in the Europa team, and he's put them in there because some of these guys have looked very good playing in the reserves, and they need a chance. When you have your first team just not working for you, and the desires lacking, the movement and everything else, and they just don't have the heart, you take these young kids and you make it happen. Why? Because it happened for you last season. Last season you was able to get Nketiah, Saka, Martinelli into the mix, and they took their chances. All you need from these kids right now is for one of them to take their chance. Just one, yeah? It'd be nice if a few of them come along, but just get somebody in there that wants to work and bleed and die for the team. Yeah, someone who wants to utilize the fact that they are playing for the badge and they're going to give 100%. Because right now, hand on heart, Arteta is not getting 100% from his guys. Look for Tierney, Mustafi, Nketiah, Xhaka and Alex Runinson to start. And most importantly for me, I would start Pepe. I know a lot of people are saying the fallout from the Pepe issue over the weekend. Obviously, he left his statement on Instagram to say he's sorry to the team, sorry to the manager, and most importantly, he's sorry to the fans. He's let everybody down. But what you do is you can't get rid of the fact that you've invested that amount of money in a player. And because of that, you have to keep moving him forward. And doing that, giving him the confidence he so lacks, means that he has to start against Molde. So for me, guys, I think that you go with that I personally will ensure that a couple of these guys, Smith Rowe, and I've been waiting for Smith Rowe to start in this goal. Why haven't they started Smith Rowe? I have no idea why they haven't started him. But I think that you put Ben Cottrell on the bench, you put Aziz on the bench, and then you go with your hot hand. These are the games that Nketiah has been scoring in these games. So for me, guys, you're stuck in a position where, what do? Do you play Eddie Nketiah, who's someone who has provided assists and goals in this competition, and do you put back in Lacazette, who's a guy who's just not good enough to play in the first team? I really don't know. That's a situation that the manager's going to have to pick up on. But we do know that these guys, including Nketiah, they give you their all on a Thursday night. I'm not sure that you play a Lacazette on a Thursday night, and I tell you why. Look what happened when we played Maitland-Niles. Yeah? He was completely disinterested, didn't want to know, because as far as he's concerned, he was starting every game on the back end of last year against the big teams, and now he's not even starting against medium teams. And he looked very disinterested in playing in the Europa Cup last time out against Molde. And then I think that for him, he's probably thinking right now, Maitland-Niles, why didn't I sign for Wolves in the summer? Yeah? Think about it. If he'd have done that, he would have got more playing time at Wolves and probably would have been a starter. He just broke on the international break, and then he comes back to Arsenal, says, I want to be a part of the plan, and Mikel Arteta doesn't even pick him. So you gotta feel something for the player there. If I'm him, I'm feeling a little bit let down. Balogun's already made his first team debut there against Dundalk last month, and his contract ends in the summer, and now there's talk of them giving him an extension. Thank God, hallelujah, praise God. And I think it's something that the player, if the player's playing more, he's going to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and with a new contract on the table, that is all you can do in order to get him to sign. Yeah? You can't do nothing more than that. What we were doing 3 months ago, not playing him and not at the table negotiating, that's a bad sign. Now here we are 3 months on, where we're at the table, we're now talking about a new contract, and the guy's getting some playing time, and that's all you can really do for him. Especially when you look at where Lacazette is right now. Balogun is a guy who can benefit from that, just like Nketiah has done in the past, and I think that that is a great way to move forward. So guys, Aziz, guys, is impressed. We need to talk about this young kid here. Aziz has impressed for Steve Ball's under-23 side this season, and he's previously admitted that he molds his style, his game on Barcelona Sergio Busquets. Silky smooth, good ball control, high passing accuracy, and he will press the midfield as well. He will work hard on the defensive end. And I think that that's something that you can take and nurture, and you have to look at those options. Because like I said, you ain't getting nothing right now from your midfield, and you've got to be thinking to yourself, am I going to be taking Ceballos back this next summer? Am I going to be putting the trigger on that? At the moment, I have to say no, because he's just not turned up. And all he's done is he had a bad training tackle against Nketiah. He had another bad one against David Luiz, and Luiz popped him in his nose because of it. And you might call it frustration, but if all of his actions come in off the pitch instead of on it, that's not really something the guys want. So for me, guys, you've got to look forward to that. I think it's going to be another okay game. I'm looking for us to score at least 2 goals. 2-1 win for me because it's away from home. And Molde is going to have a few guys back who was missing in the first leg. And I think, guys, there's even a level of us to say, do we play some of the players like Aubameyang or Willian? Do we play players that we need to actually shine? Because they have not been getting it done in the league games. So if you play them in these games and pick up some kind of positivity from them that they can take back over the weekend, then that's something. Look, even if you play them at 60, 70 minutes and give them, half an hour, 20 minutes, even if you do that, they have to carry something over because they're not creating, they're not scoring. And if you play the kids, great. But if you use this as a chance to give them guys a spark, then albeit, guys, I'm all a fan of that. There's also talk, guys, of the Premier League clubs will be playing in front of fans again as soon as next week under the government's proposals by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The government has announced that once lockdown comes to an end on December the 2nd, supporters will be allowed to return to the stadium. Capacity is up to 4,000. And what that means is the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Fulham and Crystal Palace and West Ham will be allowed to host supporters at a capacity of around 2,000. So I think that's a plus. It's not going to generate as much money as people think, because you've got to think about security, concessions. You've got to employ all them people selling drinks, hot dogs. You've got to have police out there. You've got to have the green team out there in them green and orange jackets, trying to mine the game and then let the fans know what's going on. Look out at the box. Look out the fans at the ticket offices and things like that. And look, that's not even going to pay for itself with 2,000 fans. So there's a level of, do Arsenal get a skeleton crew just to take care of those things? Do they shut down most of the places where you can buy drinks? Do they just open up certain sections of the stadiums? We'll have to wait and see. But look, it worked for cinema. Yeah, I went to the movies and I had a space of 2 or 3 seats. You can do the same thing in the football stadium. What I don't understand is that you're not allowed to cheer and scream and shout for the team. That don't make no damn sense. Yeah, especially if you've got a row of 4 or 5 seats in front of you. I just don't get it. Maybe they're talking about droplets coming out of your mouth and all that stuff. But if you're wearing a mask, it doesn't make the difference. I would sit down there literally for 2 hours with a mask on if I had to. So I don't know. Maybe there's something they can do about that. But that's it from me, guys. I'm going for 2-1 victory against Molde away from home. And let's pick this up afterwards and talk about the game when it ends. And you are going to be with us for live game commentary from 5:55, actually 5:45, so we can have a look at the team sheet, so you guys can join us then. That's all from me, guys. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys come game day. Peace, and I'm out.